Hey there, in this video we're going to be talking about weenies, as part of a series on level design tools and techniques. My name is Geedy McD. So, what is a weenie? A weenie is a point of interest in level design to draw the player's attention and focus. Weenies originated from the world of theme park design. Often when learning about weenies, we hear about how they are used in Disney World in order to draw people to different places in the park and allow them to know where they are. An example of this is the castle at Disney World that draws people into the centre of the park and can always be used for orientation in order to know roughly where you are located or how to get back to the centre of the park. Often, but not always, a weenie will be something positioned high up or something that is inherently tall, like a tower or a castle spire, so that it can be seen from many places.
You see that tower up ahead? That's where the old city starts.
But weenies can also just be interesting things around the level, or things that are unnaturally large that stand out. Weenies are used for several purposes. The first is to draw attention. Directing the player is something that we are constantly doing. Weenies can be used to grab the player's attention in a level, to help direct them through the level or to a place of interest that we want them to explore. Weenies can also be used to allow the player to orient themselves in the landscape. To prevent the player getting turned around and then progressing away from their goal, a weenie can be used to allow the player to get their bearings again. This is helpful when the player might get distracted, or when we offer side quests and activities that will distract the player from their path. After completion, the player can reorient themselves and continue on their way. An example of this might be the Rock of Ravito, or these rock formations in Final Fantasy XV. You can quickly get your bearings after being in the woods. Or the Mass Fusion building in Fallout 4, which can be seen from miles away, and is more or less the centre of the map. Weenies are also used as points of interest to work towards. For more open games, where the player may find themselves directing their own play, weenies offer starting points for the players to head towards. This is largely the case in Breath of the Wild, which we will revisit in a minute, or in Elder Scrolls games or Fallout games, where you might see something across the map and make a beeline for it. Finally, the least of these cases, weenies can be used to show progression, or to somewhat foreshadow. Naughty Dog uses weenies for all of the purposes listed above, but in particular they are used in The Last of Us to point out a place to work towards, and in almost all cases the player will eventually reach that place in the gameplay, such as here where the Capitol building is pointed out.
Now there's the Capitol building.
Yeah.
Which way we going, Tess?
Capitol building's in this direction.
And then after quite a bit of gameplay, the player arrives and things go down. Or here, where the bridge out of Pittsburgh is mentioned.
Alright, here's the bridge, that's our way out of here.
And then the bridge features in the final set piece of the chapter. Now let's finish by going back and looking at Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild attempts to do almost all of these things and expand the use of weenies. It does this through the use of triangles in the level design. Large portions of the game were designed so that the player would see a weenie off in the distance. This would pique their interest, but in order to get to the weenie, they would need to go past a structure that was a large triangle that slightly obscures it from view. This left the player with a choice. Either climb over the triangle, which is usually a mountain, or go around it. If the player chooses to go over it, the mountain is the new challenge and we head out with our goal. After reaching the top, we can get our bearings and continue. If the player chooses to go around it, the designers made sure that there were plenty of interesting things for the player to get distracted by. They wanted the player to go off on tangents, and each time they returned to their original path, they could reorient to the weenie that was the original point of interest that they were progressing towards, and off they go. And that wraps up this level design technique. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more techniques in the future, and I'll catch you next time.